canceled when you posted that picture on Facebook.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Well, you could have called. You could have
Nah,
call me up, and be like, "Hey, can we move it?" Because I mean, I would have been down. It ain't like I really got too much to say about my actual life. Everything good?
Yeah, I'm in.
Cool.
Live now. All right, so we got this.
Yeah, man.
All right, here goes.
All right.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scarfinger, and this is Scarcasm.
Woo the fucking who.
Woo fucking who. I didn't do very much. I did watch a couple of movies. My daughter was here this weekend, so we watched a couple of movies. I did watch something new, and then I watched something old with her, but it was new to her.
So you're like 1/3 away from getting married.
To my daughter?
No, I mean, something old, something new, or whatever, blue, or whatever it is, you know.
Something borrowed, something blue. No.
Oh, the podcast is blue, you
know. Well, you can't tell from this. The podcast is not blue.
Well, I mean, we curse a lot, you know, that kind of blue.
Oh, that kind of blue. All right, man. Technically, we're 3/4 of the way. I didn't borrow anything. I guess technically you could say that I borrowed my daughter because I'm not the primary. So I borrowed my daughter for the weekend. So I watched something old, something new. I borrowed my daughter, and the podcast is blue.
There we go. Now we pronounce this Scarcasm.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, I haven't done a whole lot. Like I did, I played a little bit last week. I haven't played very much since then. I watched my daughter play a little bit, but I didn't actually play myself. Other than the little bit that we played when we played Back for Blood. Is it Back for Blood?
Yeah.
Back for Blood. Back for Blood is a weird game. I think it's weird in the way that it reeks of Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
But like the added stuff on top of it make it really weird.
Yeah.
And there's so much that they don't actually teach you about the game. Like they don't teach you. They don't. Well, I tried to go through the tutorial and they just put me in a match. Like I'm like, okay, I would like to go through a tutorial because when they had the beta, I didn't actually get the chance to play the game because of network issues or whatever. So I'm just kind of like, okay, so how do I play this? So I started off and I was just figuring this shit out as I went because the last time I couldn't get in the game with y'all, so I really just kind of spent time just kind of farting around at the firing range a little bit. But most of that was just me talking. Just chilling with the fellas, I guess. So I didn't actually get a chance to really play the game. The game is, here's the weird thing. People who play games a lot, they say that what we were playing was easy.
Yeah.
And there was nothing easy about what we played. And especially if we were playing on the normal level, the lowest level, or whatever you want to call it. That was not easy at all. it's for people who play games, it's like Left 4 Dead. It's zombies and shit,
But
special
with the
infected.
corruption thing, if nobody picks the birds, would there be no birds in the map?
No, there would be birds. It just would be less of them.
Oh, okay.
Um, that that
There
that's
was a
that's
lot of
just,
birds. That was like the main
yes,
deal.
yes. There was a whole lot of birds, and the birds really made it made it well part of the birds and um the super spawns of special infected made that shit not fun
The
at
birds
all.
are like is if like the map is filled with witches, but the witches when they scream, it alerts all the zombies, and that's pretty
Yeah,
much what the birds are.
there was actually I did the Left 4 Dead on the orange box. It actually has a kind of a not like a like a director's cut or like a
Commentary.
special commentary. The commentary, there was a special infected that the whole idea of it was it was going to make more of them come, like make more of the infected come, but then they changed that and they added that effect to
Like
the
cars
the
and stuff.
bloat. Well, no, they added it to the bloat.
Oh yeah, because
Like,
his vomit will attract them.
yes. So they basically just added
But
the you know they
it attracts them for a little bit, but it's not like all of a sudden you get vomited on and it's on. They're all coming. You ain't stopping this motherfucker. You know what I mean?
right.
'Cause-
I you know what and then like when you get to like weapons and stuff like that, I had much more of a time with the pistol than I did the actual weapons. I had a better time with the pistol than I did the actual weapons,
hmm.
which I felt like was kind of weird. But then again, if I if I think about my Left 4 Dead playthroughs, I use dual pistols a lot. I like to using dual
Well, Left
pistols
4
for
Dead
some.
had a thing to where they're not trying to make the game easier. They're trying to make the game challenging in ways that are interesting. Running out of ammo is not an interesting challenge. Even
But see here,
Bungie have recently changed that with with Destiny to where they said running out of ammo is not an interesting challenge. You know what I mean?
right? Yeah, I think that a lot of times games do it so that you'll pick up other weapons.
Yeah.
And there's some weird things. I watched the thing about weapons. I watched the thing about weapons, and there's some weird things when it comes to the ammo. One, there is a mechanic in the game where you can drop ammo for people. I just didn't know how to do it on console. The person that I watched did it on PC. And you can 100% like say I'm using a shotgun, I'm not really going to use a rifle anytime soon. I can drop all of the rifle ammo that I have. That mechanic is in the game, but since I couldn't do a tutorial, I have no idea what that actually, what, how that
Yeah, a
actually works.
tutorial to me isn't put me into a private match and saying figure this out. A tutorial is well I just played the tutorial of the Tony Hawk remastered. And that's a tutorial. It like literally is someone telling you, okay, this is how you do a flip trick. You know what I mean? That's a
Right.
tutorial, not
Right.
just putting you
Yeah,
in a
that
sandbox.
that seems to be my biggest issue with it so far, that they didn't teach me none of this. And one thing that the tutorial doesn't teach you that I learned is that the weapons have rarity, and you need a higher rarity the further along you get in the game.
Yeah.
So like so like even if you have, like, say you have a scar, you know, you have a white scar, you might need a green or a blue or the purple. You know what I mean? Like the further along in the game you get, you need to upgrade
I've
that.
never met a white scar.
Apparently, the other Scarfinger, there's another Scarfinger, who was like some sort of DJ overseas,
Uh huh.
and people used to ask me like, "Are you a fake Scarfinger?" And I'm like, "No, I'm the realest nigga you know."
Well,
Um,
it's kind of like how they can be a band from Europe, but since it's a different country, there can be a band from the United States of that same name. They just make that distinction. You know what I mean?
yeah, and
You
then there's
you're
there
you're you're Scarfinger US.
yeah, there used to be a some sort of weird dude that had scarfinger.com.
Mm-hmm.
Uh and scarfinger.com was, you could tell it was a white dude, and that shit was very 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 weird. It was like super fucking weird. I'm looking right now to see if that website is still up, but it was like some, no, it's not up anymore.
If it four out
That
fours, then you can go ahead and get your Scarfinger website if you wanted to.
I don't want a Scarfinger website. I gotta pay for it. Like my domain name for PTCAC is coming back around. So like I'm like, yo, I gotta pay, I'm paying for two domains right now. I'm paying for the Geeks Gone Raw domain, and I'm paying for the PTCAC handcrafted domain. And I'm just kind of like, I don't really want to buy a whole bunch of domains for no reason. But I would look,
Well,
if I actually,
some people buy a whole bunch of domains just in case somebody wants it and they can haggle it off.
yes, that's a thing, but that's not a thing for me. I'm not really out here trying to fuck nobody over.
Right.
That's not really my get down personally. Um, it's just, I mean, I'm not here to try to price gouge somebody or anything like that. Look, if I got it and you want it, pay me a fair price and let's just be done with it. Like, am I gonna, like undercut myself if like Google wants my shit? Hell no. You know what I mean? But like, like I'm just me, man. I'm not out here. I'm not really. I've never been the guy that's like super about money,
Yeah.
which is probably why I'm in the predicament I'm in financially. That's probably why. That's kind of a thing. So it's just like I've just never really been about that life. And I know a lot of people get out here and they do all kinds of crazy things and they blow all kinds of money buying this and buying that and stuff like that. And more power to you, dog. But it's just not my get down. I'm not really that type of nigga. You know what I mean? Like I'm just not.
Mhm.
I but yeah, back for blood. Um it's just the card system is fucking stupid. I'm gonna tell you straight up, the card system is fucking stupid. The idea that the card system basically goes in order instead of being shuffled at the start of your game, where you might look up and you might end up with one of your good cards at the beginning of the game.
Mhm.
No, you have to actually set something. It kind of gets added in order, and I think that's stupid. Shuffle my fucking deck. If I set up a deck, shuffle my fucking deck and let's do this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense that the cards go in order, and the fact that if you play single player, none of this shit matters.
Right, but
You
the
play,
single
you play,
player got fucked too, cause like you get all the cards, but you don't get any XP, you don't get any achievements. You're pretty much just playing in like
and there's
cheat
there
mode.
and also there's single player cards. There's
Yeah.
a separation between the cards that you earn while you're playing by yourself and the cards that and getting those the crates or whatever you want to call it, the supply stuff in order for you to unlock more cards. There's a separation in the game between that, and that makes zero sense. The developers are just like, oh, this is something that we didn't foresee. It's like, how the fuck didn't you foresee the fact that, hey, I might want to play this fucking game by myself, and I hope that what I do by myself actually fucking counts for something.
Right. Because
we
like
didn't force it.
it's mostly a co-op game, but you might want to be like, you know what, I want to play some Back for Blood tonight. Motherfuckers ain't on, so let me play some Back for Blood. And you want it to matter for something, you know, to where if you do get, like in Left 4 Dead, get that headshot on that witch by yourself, you would get that achievement. You know what I mean? But like,
Right.
it's just, I mean, yeah, like we don't really care about achievements, really care about them, but I still. I would like to get them if I'm playing my, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of
Yeah,
like this thing.
it's something in the game to acquire that's going to help me out in the game. If it's going to help me out in the game, you should make it so that I can get this. You know, it doesn't have to be easy and it doesn't have to be simple, but make my time worth it.
Yeah. And because they also don't have, which I didn't play that much of, but when I did, it was really fun. It's just getting the people, I only play with friends, right? So getting the
Mm.
people together to do a versus campaign was a blast, but you got to get 8 people together. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
versus campaign
I
is
never
what.
played I never played versus on Left 4 Dead. I think I may have played versus on Left 4 Dead one time,
Well, it's one of the
and
most interesting versus games because it's basically the same as the campaign, except the people are the zombies or the specials, right? And the but that's what kept Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 alive to this day. I mean, yes, people would still want the nostalgia of going through the campaign, but versus campaign is what to where you'll go on and still like high up in the metrics on. So
yeah, I think the reason why Left 4 Dead is one of the highest played games to this day, I think it's more or less it's a very well crafted game, and you know you play the game to convince Valve that it's actually possible to count to three.
yeah,
Cause ain't no number three, ain't no episode three, ain't no Left 4 Dead 3. I was like, for some reason, Valve can't fucking count to three.
right. But
So,
But yeah, like it's crazy because the things that Left 4 Dead get simple don't if like how the ammo is like you just pick up ammo. It don't matter what gun you have. Pistols, they have unlimited ammo. That doesn't make the game easier. That just makes it to where there's things that I don't have to worry about in my head that make me in the game. To where
and
the challenge is the zombies and the crazy director and all that kind of stuff, not the fact that oh now I don't have any ammo. I guess I'm gonna die.
yeah, and the crazy thing is like, pistol ammo is used by SMGs. That's weird. And I learned something while I was watching the
Well, I mean the MP5 does use 9mm, but I mean, but we don't need realism in our Left 4 Dead game.
but but also look, the Desert Eagle uses sniper ammo. Make that make sense. I'll give you time.
What isn't it 50 cal?
But it uses sniper ammo, like it uses actual sniper ammo
Yeah. So maybe
in
they're
the
saying
game.
that all snipers are 50 cals.
I'm guessing like this shit don't make no sense at all. Like I mean, some of it makes a little bit of sense, but like in the scheme of things, and then like the fact that some of the SMGs, like the Tech 9, is used in place of a pistol, and the other SMGs are primary weapons. Like what? Doesn't make any sense. Like none of this makes any sense. Um, so you know what? I think it's a solid game.
Yeah. I just
I think
I think we need to like dig our toes into it a little bit more. It's something new because we were going to expecting Left 4 Dead. There's a lot of Left 4 Dead there, but they've changed and added enough to where it is its own game. And because when you do go into it thinking, I know this, I know Left 4 Dead, you're probably going to have a bad time. You need to go into it thinking, what it is, a spiritual successor of Left 4 Dead. That it's a zombie game, but it's not Left 4 Dead. It's Back
Yeah.
4 Blood.
And the whole the whole Counter-Strike killing floor, you buy a whole bunch of stuff in between the, at the safe houses and shit like that. That's a little weird to me. Because it's like, okay, let me get this straight. So if I make it to the safe house, there's just this here box. And
I gotta
all of
pay.
the
It's a
and
vending machine.
I gotta pay the box. I gotta pay the box for this. Like this, that mechanic makes no sense. I'm just gonna open the fucking box and take what the fuck I want.
We got our
And
shit that'll
there's
pay the box.
yeah, I ain't paying no motherfucking box. Like, what are we talking about here? The box is here. Like, just me and my crew is here. No one else is here to look over the box. Like,
They
if there
could put a
was,
Zer in there with like cloak on, who's like, here's my wares or something.
yeah,
You know?
something. But you can't put him. You can't put him in there, because like as soon as you open that door, they could possibly come in. And so, like, what do you do? Put him behind a metal grate or some shit? I don't know. And then it's like the weird thing about the guy at the very beginning of the first level that's like behind the mattresses and shit. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing there? Like, it's just some weird stuff about the game.
Yeah, I don't think Sam was ready for like a multiplayer, like full party in his stream. It was a whole bunch of shenanigans going on.
Yeah. So when we play, Sam did a live stream on his Twitch. So go to his Twitch. I mean, he seems to be doing pretty well with that, and
Yeah.
he's consistent. He's way more consistent than I would be.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I've always said I wanted to stream, but I just don't have what I feel like I need to stream. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
don't
really
think I
would.
have the motivation to just be someone other than myself, because you have to like, I can't just go in there with chill chase and like, and you know what I mean, unless it was a lightning in a bottle and all some people just like resonated with chill chase. But
Yeah,
normally they're looking for, holy shit, guys, what's up? Here we are with the stream. Oh, what's up, you guys? Going with the Patreon? Yeah, that's what they're looking for, and I'm not that. I will
I
never
mean,
be that.
I'm not that. I think I do have enough personality for that, but I'm not really that. I'm not really that guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know that guy. I'm not really that guy. So I think I would be more or less like, what I mean? I would be like myself turned up a little bit, and like I think I would play the game. See, my biggest problem is I would play the game and I would talk the same way that I talk on when I'm on with y'all on live streams or in the party chats and shit like that. I think
Yeah.
I would be, but I think that might be a little bit too much for Twitch. Just a little bit, just a little bit too much for Twitch. So I don't know. And then like that, like I said, I'm not really the money guy. So there's things that I would want in order to do something like that, and I just don't have those things. You know, if Patreon niggas like do that shit. The Patreon pays for most of the hosting costs for the podcast at this point. It doesn't even pay all of it yet because we still only have two patrons, and
There's some good
that
patrons though. We ever
yes,
only have two,
absolutely
they're some
the
of the
best.
best.
They are the best. We have two patrons, and the the money from Patreon it goes directly into hosting every month. I don't use it for anything personal or anything like that. It goes that's where it goes to. It goes to the hosting. So thank you to the patrons. Shout out to Ron Block. Shout out to Cam, my dudes.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean, we started talking about games. Um, I will say I watched my daughter play a little bit of Yakuza Zero.
I've wanted to get into that series, but I think it would resonate with me, like, cause it's fucking stupid, but then it's got like its combat is like on point. You know what I mean? It's kind of, but it's like it does. It is kind of funny how this super serious dude is in this wacky ass world. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I didn't stick around long enough. I watched a little bit, and I was like, you know what, I'm out. I came up here, and I started watching TV in here. Like I
yeah.
was just like, nah, I'm good. This ain't for me.
But Yakuza Zero, if one of them Kwame, well Kwame in Japan, I think that means like extreme or something. But Kwame is a remaster of one. But Zero is a newer game, but it's a prequel. So you could play Zero and then Kwame and Kwame Two, and then you can start on the two, three, all the next
Yeah.
ones.
I
But
think I think she started at zero because I mean she's young, so she's just like, well, it's zero, so that means it's the
but
first one,
it,
right?
I mean,
And
it's
I
not
was
the
like,
first one, but it's a good starting point.
you should probably play it in release order. You know what I mean? Like that was
Well,
my thing. You should
y-
probably play it in release order.
but then that would be hard because Kwame and Kwame 2 probably released way after like 3 and 4, even though the remasters, you know what I mean?
But if those are remasters, then I would start with those. If they're remasters of one and two, I would start there, right?
Yeah, I've heard that 0 is a good starting point because it does start before Kwame.
Oh, speaking of a good starting point, when we get to what we've been watching, I did watch something. Did I talk about The Sopranos last time I was here?
I think you started talking about something the Soprano adjacent.
There was a movie. I can't remember what I talked about on the last one, but I did watch that movie. Um, and yeah, I think I did. I think I did discuss it, but yeah, I've been watching a lot of Sopranos clips because there's a lot of the stuff that I kind of forgot about the things that happen and stuff like that. So I've been watching a lot of Sopranos clips since I watched that movie, and I forgot just how good that story is. But for people like Meef, because I know Meef, when I said that I watched the movie, he commented that he started and he's not really a big fan because he did it after a Wire rewatch.
Oh, Meef
Um,
was like doing like some biking not too far from me,
really?
like around Crabtree Lake and all that, you know.
Where not? Um, so yeah, but he said that he couldn't really get into it. But like it's different. Because it's like pre it's like without the Sopranos there would never be like a Breaking Bad or the Shield and stuff like that where that was the first time that you actively one of the first times that you actively rooted for the bad guy, and like the main character is the bad guy here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a slow burn, like the idea that the Sopranos is about the relationships between all of the characters and how they relate to Tony, and Tony, basically trying to figure out how to keep everything together because shit's going crazy. You know what I mean? Like it's too much shit going on. So it's I liked it at the time. I do own. I think I may own all of it on DVD. I could be wrong. I'm not gonna watch it on DVD, but I think I still do have those DVDs. But I'm
I was
interested.
thinking about because you were talking about like Tony like having all this shit going down and like people that do like some bad shit must have like no anxiety at all.
Well, the whole point is he does have anxiety
Well, I
because
know, but because it reminded, I remember watching a documentary about just the guy that did the bombing after Waco, Timothy McVeigh, to where like it was like talking about him like going up there and sitting there or
you
whatnot
mean
out.
crazy. You mean crazy white people?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't. All crazy white
but
people
I was
are
like
less
sitting there
than.
like it was making me anxious to where I was like, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, I'll be like, I can just like go away. I don't have to do this shit. Like, what the fuck am I here for? what am I? You know, just saying, just I was just like Bell, like
Yeah.
like so it's
I
like
think
it takes like someone that's like so. I think anxiety makes you more human. Like without it, it's like you have no empathy.
okay.
Yeah.
I I let's see. I think I never really I don't really think very much of domestic terrorism in the first place. But there's a movie that I watched back in the day called Arlington Road. That's a really really good movie. It's about domestic terrorism, and it stars some heavy hitters. The two main characters are Tim Robbins and Jeff Bridges. And basically, this guy gets some new neighbors, and he believes that his neighbors are domestic terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's a movie that was inspired by Waco and all of that other stuff, and the Oklahoma City bombing and all of that shit. Is a movie that was inspired by that. It's at the time it was really fucking good, but it's one of those movies that has like a big twist, and like after you see the movie and you see the twist, do you really want to watch this again?
Right. The only
The only
movie, the only movie that was like kind of a who done it that I think is worth a rewatch, just because who done it is not the important part. It's that all the the road to the whole thing was just so enjoyable of how it happened was Knives Out. Like,
I never got around to that, but it's one of those things to where it's like, I think most of these movies you watch them twice. You watch it the first time and you're just like, oh wow, that happened, and
and then
then you
when you
watch it.
watch it a second time, you're like, I'm fucking stupid. This is fucking
Yeah,
obvious.
I missed all of this. Like I missed so much, and like there's a you still haven't watched Squid Game, have you?
No.
You should totally watch Squid Game. Um, there's like so many clues in Squid Game of not only the twist, but also like there's a huge clue that's around the whole time about what this whole thing is about. And like it is there the whole time and you just don't notice it because you're paying attention to everything else, and you don't notice that there's something sitting right there around you, this whole time.
So now I'm
And you're
gonna
just,
like know what to look for.
nope, you're not, you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss it. You'll probably figure it out at the end,
Uh-huh.
like to what the last few episodes. You might figure it out then, but for the most, like the first like 2/3 of the season, you're not gonna notice it at all. And like none of us did. Like none of us did. And it's just like, oh wow, that was like right there in plain sight. Um, and like there's a lot of things. There's a whole lot that's like, wow, this is crazy that I never figured that out. That type of stuff. But there's several different things in Squid Game, and you should totally watch Squid Game. I know that's like the new hotness right now, and like everybody's on Squid Game, but it's really that good. And and I watched it the worst way you could possibly watch it.
What?
I watched it dubbed with English subtitles.
Yeah, if you watch it
Uh,
dubbed, you need to turn those subtitles off because they're not gonna match up.
no, I think I was fine. I mean, it worked out for me.
Well,
I don't.
the subtitles are going to be a more direct translation than the actual dub. So
Yeah,
sometimes,
yeah. Yeah, so it was no. I mean it all worked out for me. I don't remember exactly how that went, but and I got chastised this by my daughter, because she's a subs over dubs type of person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I usually got my phone in my hand. So I can't watch something. I can't watch a whole lot that's just subs. I can't. It's not possible. I'm usually on my phone doing all kinds of other stuff, kind of getting up and walking around and stuff like that, but still paying attention. But I I'm either on my phone or I can't sit still. So like it's really difficult for me to just watch what in the
How are
original
you in
language.
the theater?
I don't watch anything that's foreign language.
I mean, are you walking around with your phone out?
No. If I'm in the theater, I'm paying attention in a way that I don't do at home. At
Okay.
home, there's a whole bunch of distractions because like all of my shit's here. You know what I mean? All of my shit's here. So like,
Yeah, that's the one thing that I would want if I was like well off. I was like, yeah, I'm probably have like a born ass house that makes it look like I'm not well off. But I'm gonna be for damn sure gonna have me like some sort of badass theater room in there somewhere. It's like if that's the one rich ass motherfucker thing that I do, I'm gonna have a theater room. To
yeah,
where
there's a gentleman that we moved, my company moved recently, and he is Richie Rich,
mm-hmm.
like Richie Rich. He's a lawyer. And he is Richie Rich. Like he has one of the cars from Bullet.
Does he have a yacht with two pools on
I don't know if he has a yacht with two pools. I didn't see. I ain't seen no about no yacht.
it?
But he does have a stable, and he has a library in his home that required over 400 book boxes to pack.
Hmm.
He has a fleet of motorcycles. He has a Lamborghini. He has a a Ferrari. He has one of the cars from fucking Bullet, and supposedly it is one of the cars from Bullet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about like we're not talking about like, oh, this is a replica of that. No, this is supposedly one of the cars from Bullet.
Yeah, and some of that stuff is like like when you think about like expensive shit, like like a person that makes like $1 million a year, even though that's small change today, but that's still rich. That's you know better off than what most people make, right? A
Absolutely.
Lamborghini is like $2,000 or not 2,000, like $2 million. You know what I mean? So they're still having to put that shit on credit, like even rich motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's weird because like what I saw an interview with Bill Gates back when he was still on top of the world, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Bill Gates still used a credit card. Why would Bill Gates need to use a credit card? I mean,
It's
his
20.
his money his money is good in the hood. Like his money is good anywhere. Like there is nowhere that his money can get him. But he still uses a
Okay,
credit card.
a the 2021 Lamborghini Sion Roadster is, well, I'm not going to say the whole number because it's an odd, it's like an odd number, but it's definitely over $3 million.
That's crazy. You know something about expensive cars, right? There is a beef between rappers, right? T Pain, T Pain,
Mm-hmm.
Autotune
Yeah,
Master, and Future, Autotune Abuser, got into a beef over an expensive car
did they do it in auto
because
tune?
because look, so Khaled did made a song with Future and it's called "I Woke Up in a New Bugatti." Expensive car. And Khaled, who is friends with T Pain, asked T Pain, can he use his Bugatti in the video? So T Pain sees like the stuff like on Instagram or something like that, and he says to Future, "Oh, that car sure looks familiar." And apparently that started this whole big thing between the two of them. And apparently they don't really fuck with each other at all. Just because T-Pain pointed out the fact that that was his car that that Future was sitting in that video. Useless trivia for your ass. Okay, so let's get back to it. So we were talking games, and we kind of went off on Yakuza, and then we got led down this whole thing. Um, I know you play stuff all the time. What have you been playing?
Well, I've kind of been off my little schedule to where, like, so I haven't really played Red Dead or Scarlet Nexus since the beginning of the month. But because uh, I did the Alan Wake thing, and I did Tony Hawk just now. But I pretty much just playing Alan Wake because I was trying to do things that are a little spooky, and then I got the remaster, and I talked to you about it, which I think maybe we shouldn't do the party night if we're doing a show every 2 weeks, to where sometimes I forget what I told you on the party night.
Right. I mix that up. I do mix some of this stuff up, and sometimes I can't remember what I said on the party
Because if
night
we're
as opposed to what I
if we're
said
playing
on
a
the.
game together, it's different. But if we're sitting here chatting, then we're probably going to get into podcast mode. It's just podcast without a recording. But yeah, I was saying that the overall it's good. You know what I mean? It's not the greatest remaster of all time, but it's also a fairly inexpensive one. It's like $29, like not on sale, and the one of the main things that they changed was the cutscenes to where it doesn't look like they're like on like just moving their mouse like fucking marionettes
Did you
anymore.
just do, did you just do that for the video that no one's watching right now?
And
And
that's why I explained what I did.
yeah, like, you had to at that point, right?
Yeah, but but yeah, the cutscenes were much better. The uh, if I was looking at it back to back, I would probably say a lot of the other stuff. But I'm the type of person to where if I see something that looks really good, I'll get used to it real fast and be like, and then I don't know the difference until I see the old shit. And then when I see the old shit, I'm like, did that look like that? Damn.
Yeah. I
but
mean, it's always really like your mind's eye view of some of this old stuff. Um, it like when you see like an up-resed version of it, and you're just like, oh, that's what I thought this looked like, and then you go back and see what it actually looked like, and it's like, oh wow, I really filled in a whole lot of those blanks.
yeah.
Like my mind filled in a lot of blanks.
But yeah, because people don't really. Because I mean, I played it on PC, but and then that was even like a jump above. But a lot of people haven't played Alan Wake since the 360, so you know that this is a way heavy jump from the 360 to 2021. Series X, PC, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So it's probably a big jump for those people. So I would say if I know that you're not, but if you're like even a casual fan of Alan Wake, it would probably be worth you know a revisit if you were kind of curious about it. If you were already on the fence about it, it's whatever. But if you were already curious about it, I would say just go ahead because it's not an expensive buy, and the the improvements are, I think, very good, and they add some really cool stuff that like secret things, like those little Q codes, right? Is that what they're called?
QR codes.
QR codes. There we go. So they're like scattered in the game, and they're like new cutscenes almost, kind of like the cutscenes to where you would see Alan at his typewriter and he's spewing a bunch of prose. And some of that, I think, I haven't found them all because I was just playing through it organically, just have fun. But apparently they really cement the connection Alan Wake and Control, and I haven't played the Control DLC that links Alan Wake because I didn't have the DLC on Epic Epic where I had my save, and then I did see it on sale for like $7 on Steam, but I don't know if my save would carry over. But if it did, then I'll just go ahead and play the Alan Wake one because that was a complete edition. But yeah, it's cool, man, and you can fight all the fucking bulldozers you want, you know.
Nah, son.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it's something different, but that's kind of why I liked it, to where I'm like, holy shit, I'm fighting a bulldozer right now. Holy fuck, this is awesome. This is like, what other game do you fight bulldozer?
I'm like,
with a
why the
flashlight?
fuck? I'm like, why the fuck am I fighting a fucking bulldozer
With a flashlight. It's
with
awesome.
a flashlight
Yeah.
and flares? Like, if you don't get the fuck out of here with this shit.
But
Yeah,
goddamn, is it satisfying to get a perfectly timed flare gun shot, and all of them just go like, and the particle effects and the glow effects and all that stuff. It's very satisfying.
Yeah, not terrible.
But yeah, I did that. One thing I have to like warn some people that have the exact same video card that I do, and I had to look and search, and I was like, who is having this issue? Because this is kind of discouraging. It's not a big, like, most of the game is fine, but right before a cutscene and right after a cutscene, there'll be a split second of like static on the screen, and then apparently it's an issue with the game with my exact video card. And I was like, that's the ultimate chase thing to happen.
It is just your card.
Yeah. So, but they'll update it at some point. But mostly, it's been great. I've been running it at pretty much max settings and getting 60 frames per second. It runs butter smooth, and then I did pick up the Tony Hawk, the remaster, whatnot. Epic had a sale going on for Halloween, but then they also had a thing to where, oh, you sign up for their email and you get $10, straight up $10, not like a 10% or whatever. So I was like, oh, I'll get that on sale. Okay, I'll sign up for your email thing, so I get $10 off. So I got it for like $10 off of like 40 or whatever. So yeah, so I went through the tutorial on that. All the soundtracks there. They added some new stuff, which some of it, I mean, the Machine Gun Kelly stuff, it does fit in right in. I mean, I'm not a big fan of it, but it's like pop punk shit that he's doing now, and it fits right in with the game. So everything that new things that they added.
I thought rock fans are mad at Machine Gun Kelly right now.
Well, they are, but I'm saying musically, like, if you're not even paying attention to who it is, like you're just skating and stuff, it fits right into the soundtrack. It's not jarring to where you're like, holy shit, there's some Machine Gun Kelly. You know what I mean? It's, I think it fits right in with the flow of the soundtrack. So
I have never, ever in my life said, holy shit, it's Machine Gun Kelly. Like, I've never said that.
I meant you would be like, holy shit, it's Machine, like you were like wincing. But if you
nope,
can like,
I've never said that in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I guess if you were if it was the 1920s and it was a person that was nicknamed Machine Gun Kelly, you would probably be like, holy shit, it's Machine Gun Kelly, and he's like,
no. Even if that was the case, if Machine Gun Kelly, if a person named Machine Gun Kelly showed up, I would be like, run! It's Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, but you can check off songs that you don't like. So if you don't want to hear Machine Gun Kelly. But
yeah, I don't think it would bother me none. There's a few songs that were on NBA Live that I didn't really like, but like once I heard them so much, they became tolerable.
I mean, that's pretty much the story of Goldfinger's Superman, right? You're like I'm
I associate with that song with that game.
yeah, but I think a lot of people do. But yeah, it's there. It does all the things. You know, it looks great. I made a dude. I was like, holy! They have like black metal like face paint. So I made a dude. Pretty much made it like me with like long hair and a beard and all this stuff. But then with the black metal face paint and like all black. But on the back of his like little jacket is like some flowers. So I was like, this is like this evil looking motherfucker. He's like, you know, volunteering at the homeless shelter and like, you know, taking care of kittens. So, but I went through the tutorial, and that's when I was like, hey, you know, this is how a tutorial should be. Because I was like, man, it's been a long time. But, you know, most of that stuff, it clicked right in, you know. Until it got to, like, more of the advanced stuff, I was a little rusty on the, the, the special tricks and stuff. But, like, the basic shit, it was just, you know, ollie nollie and grinding all over the place, you know. But
right.
But it's good. I would say definitely if you wanted to pick it up for the cheap, go it on Epic and do their little thing, and you can get it for like 13. I don't remember. It was under $15, which is
okay.
It's got 2 games in it and a whole bunch of new, and it looks great. But that's pretty much all I've been playing because I've been trying to like put a break on the whole Red Dead and all that, and I don't want to take too much of a break. But I mean, what other time do I have to like really feel like I just wanna. We're getting older. The seasons just go like that to where you're like, holy shit, it's Christmas. Holy shit, it's July.
Right.
And then so I like to try to stay in my seasons as much as I can because I'm gonna blink and it's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm very much like, holy shit, it's October already.
Yeah.
And it's past the midway point of October at that.
Yeah, I know. It's like the 8th. It's the 18th.
Yeah.
We don't really like to date our shows, but yeah, it's the 18th of October.
Yeah, that's fucking weird. So I watched a few things. I'm watching the same things I've been watching. The stuff that comes out every week. Why the Last Man and the Wu Tang. Um,
Well, I think
the
one thing
Wu-
you watched is something I watched too. So,
what was that?
well,
Oh, yeah, I watched the Chappelle thing, but I mean, what I mean at this point, what is left to say about Chappelle in that special?
probably
But I
nothing.
mean,
But I'm just saying
I
I watched it. So, I mean,
I can find something. I
yeah.
definitely can find something. But at this point, there's just kind of nothing left to say. But I do know one thing that I can say. But we'll get to that. Well, you know what? Let's fucking do it now.
Okay.
Um, so a friend of mine who has a podcast. Shout out to my man, Mr. Span.
Hmm.
Mr. Span did a bit about the special, and he lands on the side of it's crass. And I did not actually like really. I didn't think so at first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was really kind of on the side of like I laughed quite a few times.
Yeah.
Um, and it seemed very obvious that he was going for you're gonna fucking hate me after this
I mean, he would
from the
say
very
he's like, "We're going out of the way," like because even the audience would like kind of groan at something. He's like, but that's when he was going for a laugh, he got the laugh. But when he got
yeah
the groan, he was going for a groan. He knew what he was
yeah
doing.
yes, he knew exactly what he was doing. But here's the thing that Mr. Span pointed out,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't think about this at all. Almost all of the Chappelle specials, with the exception of the ones that were in the middle, the main 3 specials that he did for Netflix were all about the exact same thing. The subject matter didn't change at all. So there was time in between them. The subject matter didn't change at all. He just kept coming back to the same shit. When they got pissed off about it on the first special, he came back to the same shit. And then he came back to it again and focused more on it on the last special. So he really, really did three specials where he got paid millions of dollars to talk about the exact same thing for three fucking specials.
Mm-hmm.
And that's unacceptable. Even from someone that I enjoy his comedy, I enjoy his observations. I and I laughed quite a bit. And like it takes a lot. It takes something to be like super funny for me to laugh like completely out loud, and I did on that last special a couple of times. But at the end of the day, subject matter didn't change. He found new jokes in it, but they're not really new. It's just new variations of the same jokes. And then like he wrapped his feelings about LGBT and trans people and all of that kind of stuff. He wrapped that he wrapped himself in his blackness to deflect from the criticism. And that part I didn't love. He wrapped himself in his blackness to say, like, and then talked about his one friend who was trans and all of that kind of stuff. And it was just like, yeah, but it's the same thing as I have a black friend. When racist shit comes out of your mouth. But I have a black friend. And like, yes, he's done things for his friend's family and all of that kind of stuff. And like, he said it. And they came out, that family came out is in support of him.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it still reeks of I have one black friend to me. And that's just kind of unacceptable. And I expect better from him. And also the idea that the reason why he walked away from Chappelle's show and when he talked about this with Oprah, when he realized that the difference between people laughing at him and people laughing with him, and you do realize that that's what you're doing to the LGBT community, right? Like, you were super fucking aware when this shit happened to you, and you were super fucking
Well,
aware.
didn't he say in one of his things? It's like it's funny until it happens to you.
Yeah, but then he also says, "Well, I'm the guy who walked away from blah 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 blah." So why can you not understand why these people will walk away from you? Exactly, it's that. Um, and like and to be honest, until Mr. Span started going, I had not thought about it. I had not thought about it in that way. And shout out to I'll go check out his podcast, the Span Report. Um, he does it live on Facebook, and then it's on the feed. But yeah, I just didn't really think about it in that way. I'm just kind of like, because prior to that, I'm just kind of like, he's taking shots. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was trying to piss people off, and in the end, it's not harmless. It's not harmless anymore because this is a well you keep coming back to. You know what I mean? Like the first time I can excuse it. The second time I start to look at you funny. The third time you have an issue, sir. And I mean, I guess those are my feelings on it. But like while I was watching it, I laughed, and I laughed. There's a couple of times where I was knee slapping because I watched it by myself. So just knee slapping. That was fucking hilarious. But in hindsight, what am I really laughing at? I'm laughing at someone else's pain at this point. And as someone who as someone who is a depressive, as someone who does um does have problems subconsciously, well, like privately, do have some issues with self-image and all of that kind of stuff. The kind of things that you don't really tell a whole bunch of people about. But I have a therapist, so I get to tell her. Um I realized I could have just been wrong. And like I at this point I kind of feel like an enabler. Or and no more of an enabler than Netflix themselves.
What I didn't
But
get is how the Netflix guy was like, do like the higher ups even want? I mean, it's on your thing. Like, how did it even?
yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
approve of it. How did it even get there? Your
No,
Netflix,
the part that I hated. Here's the part that I hated. Netflix is always going to stand by their money. They spent their money. They knew exactly what they were getting. You really think that nobody at Netflix actually like put this shit like watch this shit before they actually put it on their service? So
right?
like I'm not mad at Netflix. This is what they paid for. This is what makes them money because now you know there's no such thing as bad press. Like even the people who haven't who didn't care, there's going to be a lot of people who go to Netflix to watch this just to see what this actually was and what he actually said. And I even had people send me a message and they asked me like, "Yo, spoke about Chappelle. Like, what did he actually do?" And like those people who are like, "What did he actually do?" They're going to go look if they don't have somebody like me to tell them. But they're gonna go look. And that's what Netflix wants. Netflix don't give a fuck about this shit. My problem is like the stories about the Netflix people getting suspended and the one trans person that got fired. Um, they tried to make it seem like the person who got fired because they were anti Chappelle. And the headline says that they got that this person who is who is
Well, I thought
trans
they
and
got fired because of they leaked information that was confidential.
no no. Well, that might have been somebody else, but the first one that straight up got fired, and some people got suspended, and then somebody else got fired because they tried to organize like a walkout or something like that.
Right, right.
Um, Not trying to organize a walkout, fuck out of here. Like I get it. Like I get it in both aspects.
Well,
I get it. Like,
I mean, in a right to
no,
work state, any sort of like talk of we're gonna have a strike, it's like, yeah, you're gonna have a strike and you fired.
yeah, but
Like,
in a right to work state, they don't have to even tell you why you're fired.
right.
You're just gone. I mean, Virginia is a right to work state, so you
So
can
is North Carolina. So yeah.
yeah, you can be the fuck out of here. But they tried to couch it as if this person was got fired because they were anti Chappelle, and it was like no, this person who was a low level person tried to bogart their way into a manager's meeting, a top level manager's meeting. And it's like, no, that's not how this works. Like you can't just walk in here. You know what I mean? That's like trying to like I don't know if that's not a good analogy. I was gonna say it's like trying to walk in on your parents while they're fucking. But that's not a good analogy.
No, because that would be like if you were trying to walk in on there and then get in on it, but that would be
Yeah,
like now this would be like a thing to where you're like, the little kid being like, "Yo, I'm sitting at the big table now."
no. What they did was not only say I'm sitting at the big table now, but
They're gonna
the
tell you what
they
to eat.
they yeah they tried to sit at the table and tell no, you're going to listen to me. No, motherfucker, we don't have to listen to you. You're not on our level. Go sit the fuck down somewhere. So like, you ain't follow the chain of command. Oh well. Like, you know what I mean? You know good and damn well you can't just do whatever the fuck you want to. Period. Like you got a
Because
job.
that's gonna negate your. Because if you, I mean, they have a solid argument, right? And then, but if they negate the chain of command and do all this stuff, it's just gonna negate the whole thing and make it look like,
You look like an asshole.
you know,
No one likes an asshole. That simple. It makes you look like an asshole. And then when the headlines say that that you got fired because you were anti Chappelle and tries to make Chappelle look bad, but no, this is something that you did on your own. And this shit happened to you because of your own actions. It had nothing to do with Chappelle. Yes, you are trans and you are anti Chappelle. Cool. But what you did that got you fired had nothing to do with Chappelle. That was your negligence and you fucked that up. And that's the part that I didn't like about it. So I don't know. You got something else on Chappelle? I mean, if you really,
no, not really. I just a lot of stuff.
I laughed. I laughed while I watched it, and I'd probably laugh again if I watched it again. But but I probably feel bad about it afterwards. And that's just the truth. I probably feel bad about it
I
afterwards.
mean, but don't you feel bad when you watch a video of some dude getting like hit in the nuts and you're like, you laugh at it and you're like, man, I bet he's in.
No, no, because I don't feel bad after that. I would feel bad if I watched like I don't feel good watching fights, especially if the fight goes really bad. And you never see me share fights on like Facebook or anything like that. I don't typically share fights unless there's something funny about it and not like something gruesome. Um, I don't share fights. I don't I don't I try to stay away from gruesome things. Just as a personal preference of just not spreading something like that. Um, I think I would feel bad if like I, it makes me feel bad because I know people who are a friend to the LGBT plus community, and they talk all the time about what's happening to these people, especially trans people being killed, um, or just sometimes just for being who they are, and that like in like what Chappelle is doing doesn't quite help. What he's doing is not helping the situation that he could help avoid. Like so what someone with a platform like Chappelle could seriously be like, yo, leave these people alone. They just want to live. And some people would actually listen to him. Leave these people alone. They just want to live. But your jokes and making light of them for 3 fucking specials now is causing more people to be as bold as you are. And that's going to get someone hurt and that is going to get someone killed. And that's the part that I can't I feel uneasy about. And saying you have one trans friend does not negate everything you've done to this point. Shit was still funny though. But it was still funny. I think that might be the show title. It was still funny. Let me write that down before I forget. Um so um like I started to say I've been on Wu Tang like really hard, like really seriously. And now that they're starting to perform more and like they're making these songs, I have all of the issues. here's my problem with the performances so far. They are letting the actors perform the songs themselves. They are not actually playing the real songs and just have them kind of lip sync over it.
Right.
By that, there's something lost in the translation. There's times in these songs where some of the lyrics are said in a very kind of sing-songy kind of way, and the actors are just rapping through it instead of doing the sing-songy thing.
Which
And that's
mostly talking about OD. Right?
it's mostly ODB. There's a lot of
Well, I mean, did
instances.
they really even because that because ODB parts in Wu Tang and also ODB solo work has always been songy. That's like his thing. Like they didn't
Yeah,
take that into account.
but then there's other parts, right? There's other parts like Protect Your Neck. First of all, the guy who is RZA, he talks so much lower than RZA. He talks like RZA, but he doesn't rap like RZA at all. Because RZA talks like this, but he raps like this, like he's up there when he raps. And then like in like Protect Your Neck when he goes and coming around the mountain when I come, like that part, those sing-songy parts are missing. And that is the part that's bothering the shit out of me. It doesn't sound right. And like I noticed it when they were recording Protect Your Neck. When they were recording Protect Your Neck in the show, I was just like, something about this is off. And one of the things that was off was like the crew yelling lines behind them. Because that happens through that whole song. Even the coming around the mountain right before that, everyone is saying will be, and then he says coming around the mountain when I come in a sing-songy way, but that was missing from the recording of Protect Your Neck. And then like they did a show in the last episode, and I got that back. They were on stage and they were doing those parts, so it made it feel more like the actual song. But them rapping or just kind of talking through the sing-songy bits just keep standing out to me, and I can't shake it. And like there's a you are very you would be very very surprised. Like if you listen to this, like the Method Man, the song Method Man,
Yeah.
he is sing-songy through that whole thing. He is like like a lot of people say that that rap is not music. And it's just like no, because the melodies and stuff like that comes from the what the people are saying, not by instrumentation, is by the way that they say what they say. That song, it's a lot of sing-songy bits, and like the way that he says certain things, the actor is not doing it in that manner. And
The
it's weird
like
because
the
that
spelling and stuff.
yeah, it's kind of weird. It's not said exactly the way that it's said in the song. The actor doesn't say it like with the notes, METHOD, like those notes. It's more like METHOD, and it's not. He's not hitting those the METHOD, like those notes of it are not there in the same manner. There's some of it, but not enough to convince me that this is what you're actually really doing. So those bits are missing. It's still very enjoyable. Pretty much half of the last episode was the performance, and they performed 3 songs. Uh, so like so we got a lot of Wu Tang, actual Wu Tang. Finally, we're getting like the songs, the things that we care about, that type of thing. So that's cool, and I really like that part of it. I just really wish that the actors got at least tried. Because the guy who plays ODB, he's not really trying. Is and it's more evident with ODB, but everyone has bits where they do this in a sing-songy way, and those sing-songy bits being missing just kind of hit you a little bit if you're a fan like I am. Like it just it's like it's karaoke to me. It's like someone's reading.
Are they going to keep going through? Are they going to end off on 36, or are they going to keep going through like We Take Forever and all that stuff?
I know that they had to wait until they got greenlit for a second season. There was a little bit of break before the green light for season 2 actually happened. So I here's what I think would probably be the best. Go through forever. Get through forever. Because everything after forever is kind of downhill musically. Now, there's a lot of those bits in between of them being upset about their money and all of this kind of stuff, and like the bad business that comes between them would be really
But
interesting to see it would be really interesting to see as like the drama of the show and something to push the show forward. Like these dudes believe that they're brothers, but like the business is what's coming between us, type of thing. I would love to see some of that type of stuff, as a way to carry the show, as opposed to we're making this album that you know and love.
right,
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say that when the covers aren't really. Well, anyway, the
I have no idea what you're talking about right
well,
now.
the Wu
So
Tang, like because like I don't even know much about the W and Iron Flag. Right, I haven't even really listened to those, but I heard that like a Better Tomorrow, like that the comeback. I guess you would call it like a comeback. Like wasn't so bad.
I I can't um now I got to look it up.
It's just that
The
the cover on Wikipedia doesn't. There's a different cover than I remember. I remember seeing like a yellow sticker like something. Even once upon a Shaolin.
Yeah, the Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. That's fucking yeah. That's that album, right? The one that the farmer bro bought.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I think I kind of got out of it. I was more into a lot of the solo stuff, especially with Ghostface.
Hmm.
After Forever, Forever was just kind of Forever is the peak for me. Um,
I mean, I would
I,
say that. I mean, out of
the
all of
South
them, I mean,
the
ODB
saga
had some
continues.
hits, but the Method Man and Ghostface had probably the most outside of in career. I mean, I
Yeah,
mean RZA. I mean, because of he's RZA, but like as of like rappers. But
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I think I
but see,
like Grave Diggers
RZA has
more
his
than you did, but
RZA has his movie bag that he can
yeah,
always fall into. I mean, I like some of the side stuff, especially like Killer Army was meant something to me. I really like Killer Army, and like some of that type of stuff. But I think my favorite is always gonna be Ghostface. Like Ghostface is the only one that really made consistently good solo projects. Because like Raekwon got one, Method Man came out with two, but the second one was just kind of average to me. It didn't really kind of hit me in the same way that
And
Takal
we
did.
all know the best thing is like in Together Now with
Yeah,
Limp Bizkit. I mean that song's just good, man.
shut the fuck up.
Mm.
Um, and then, but I like the idea that in the saga continues, they added Redman
Yeah,
in that and to some songs, and like Redman, it's clear that Redman is uh probably a lot better than most of the Wu. But the saga continues is the I think is the one that it doesn't have you God. They dropped you God. Well, you God was suing, so he was suing. So you God's not on the album, but like, is you God really that missed?
but
I actually own the you God album. I bought the shit from Warehouse Music used, and
I
I'm like,
and
I'm glad I didn't
I
spend that
think I
much
remember
money
in
on it.
some of our conversations that you did not like Gravediggers.
I was less into it than like my brother liked it. I was not really a Gravediggers person. I didn't care for the fake horrorcore nonsense.
I mean, but
I mean, it didn't mean
I mean
anything to me.
six, right? I mean it's it's dumb. You know what I mean? But it's dumb in
I
like
had
a
the
way
first.
that like I don't know, man. 6 Feet Deep's kind of iconic. You know what I mean?
I definitely had the first Gravediggers tape, but I just didn't. It just didn't. It didn't. It just didn't really do it for me. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, guess it's weird that like hardcore had like so many people that were like you wouldn't expect would have started out in horror. I would actually consider Eminem's first album to be horrorcore because it has a lot of that like. Maybe it's because like when it first came out, I kind of lumped it together with like Horn and stuff, you know, and I think it was he was trying to compete with that a little bit, but I don't
No, I
know.
think I no, I think Eminem's shit was just kind of different. Like, I think it was
And Bone
white.
Thugs is a little bit hardcore too, like especially with 1999. I mean,
Oh man, let me tell you. I watched a interview with Crazy. Crazy did an interview on Drink Champs a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about how like a lot of that stuff, like they messed around with a Ouija board before, but it wasn't anything that they were like super into. But a lot of that imagery and stuff like that was on like the album covers and shit like that was put there by someone else. They had no idea what the fuck that shit meant when it first came out. They had no idea what it meant. Like they just they just made the music based off of things that they knew. And like, yeah, one day somebody came over and they were playing with a fucking Ouija board, so they made a Ouija song. Like that type of stuff. But a lot of these elements, they had no idea what it was really about. All of these occult symbols and stuff like that. That's all over the liner notes and stuff like that. They had no fucking idea. Like Crazy said that. He said like it took someone to be like, hey, you might want to look this up because this is now being associated with you, dog.
you know, but yeah, I would still consider it. Even just musically, you listen to some of the tracks on there, like creeping and stuff, does have a like you could see that track like in a horror movie. You know what I mean? Musically, but anyway, I
Yeah.
mean, 6 Mafia is good, and I mean, I think like what's his face? You mentioned him earlier, like Tech Nine. I think some of his stuff is horrorcore. I mean, their
Yeah,
stuff. The
I've
one
never been I've never been a Techno fan. I think And I know that this is not a Tech Nine thing. I know that this is a thing. I'm not putting this all at his feet,
Mm.
but let me tell you something. White people love when rappers rap fast. They love it. It doesn't matter what the fuck they say, but like you know, there was that white dude who was making all of these raps and shit like that, and he was just rapping really fucking fast, and like white people was just sharing him all the time on fucking Facebook and shit. And it's just like, yo, yeah, he's rapping fast, but what the fuck did he actually say? And it's just like, I don't know, it just sounded cool. Like, and it's just like, yeah, but why do you keep sharing this if you don't even know what he's saying? It's fucking gibberish. He's just doing it really fucking fast and it's gibberish. And like white people really love when you rap fast. And I don't get that whole thing. I don't understand it at all. Like, you know, like if you don't fucking say anything, like then your beat better be hot. Cause like you can't do nothing for me if you just rap fast.
Yeah. But I think the detriment to horrorcore is his association with some really fucking terrible shit like Twisted and fucking ICP, all that shit, you know.
Yeah, all that white people shit. I don't know nothing about that. You know what I mean? Like it's not really my thing. It's not really my
The
thing.
only thing that was I don't know, I have to revisit it, but I remember liking the song on the Scream 2 soundtrack that was by that. It was one of those I think it was Cottonmouth King.
Yo, there was I've been watching, you know, I watch up a lot of people doing like reactions to stuff. I just watched them dude do a reaction to Scream, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he did it after watching Scary Movie first. Because he did not know that Scary Movie was a spoof. And
The
the
thing,
whole first movie is a spoof of Scream.
right? But the thing is that like I always get so like upset, not upset. I mean, it doesn't make me upset, but like I'm always like, Scary Movie doesn't need to exist because Scream is already that movie. Scream is a spoof on horror movies. It's
Oh no
just
no no.
more
No.
nuance.
No. Let's be honest. Scary Movie 1 and 2 when the Wayans brothers were still behind it,
Mm-hmm.
much better movies than the rest. When they
Well,
took
they
them.
also the scary movies had I have to rewatch them, but like at least the first couple with the Wayans brothers, but it also had the crew that was responsible for Airplane. Is those first couple ones, I think.
Yeah,
The
I
Wayans and the Airplane crew were responsible for
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so like the first couple were great and they're still hilarious because I watched these reactions to it and I was like I forgot how funny that was. Like in the second one when they do the Nike basketball thing. Well the was it a Nike commercial with the basketball as the beat?
I don't remember.
And they do a spoof based off of that commercial and stuff like that. And like first one they do a spoof of wah, wah.
Yeah.
And like shit like that, like that shit was hilarious. It started kind of getting away from itself. And they're making a new Scream, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
I saw that trailer and I was like, because at first I was like, okay, well, I mean, I'll see if they watch it, but I mean, people, there's an art to making a trailer to where you're like, oh man, because because I saw a trailer, I was like, yeah, I'm in,
Yeah,
motherfuckers.
I never got into the TV show.
I never seen that at all, so I don't even know.
Me neither. Like I said, I never felt the need. And I watched Scream 1 in the movie theaters like 5 times at least. I kept taking friends to the movie theaters like, yo, you should totally watch this. Let's go. I'll go with you.
Yeah, I always hated when you know, Scream was considered like the pussy horror movie, but you know, like Ghostface doesn't hold a candle to Freddy and Jason and all this shit, and I was like, I like those things too. and the screen,
Yeah.
it's just
It's the nerd thing.
it's just
You
awesome,
know,
man. Like it's it's satirical, that's why. I mean, I'm not saying discrediting Scary Movie, but I didn't think that, because I was like, it's already a spoof. It's not a spoof, but it's definitely a critique on horror movies, like,
yes.
already.
Yeah. So you know what? I have no interest in going back and watching these movies. That's why I watch these reactions to people watching it for the first time. And this is and I am enjoying other people's reaction to watching it the first time because I can never watch it again for the first time.
Right, right.
So yeah. Then and then so I watched Free Guy.
Okay.
Free Guy is fucking fantastic.
So I've
It
heard.
is. It is greatness. I rented it because it's available to rent now. And it is fucking fantastic. Like holy fuck. It's like and like the fucking like and I'm noticing all the like the video game things that's in it.
Well, it
And like
seems like this movie is what's the movie with Adam Sandler? I can't even remember what it was, but that's what people were
Pixels.
hoping.
But
Yeah,
I've never seen
I
Pixels,
I
but
never seen it either, but I just heard it wasn't very good. But it's like that's what you were hoping that would be, or you were hoping that the one about the VR shit that would be. This is the ultimate, like, movie about video games.
yes, because this actually takes place. You know the 90% of this movie happens in a video game. Like the main character of this is an NPC. He's not a real person. You know what I mean? Like it's really fucking cool, and like how they tie everything together. Um, I really enjoy it. And it's like, and then like the guy from Stranger Things play is one of the main characters
Well,
on the out in the outside world. The guy to play Steve.
hey, I'll be right back. I mean, we could, like, I could mute everything and then it just truncates the silence, but I could use.
Okay. Just
All
in
right.
case.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I had
Okay.
my two beers and it kind of ran through me.
Okay. Well, Free Guy was amazing. I hope that if it ever, whenever it makes it to Disney Plus or Hulu, it's probably more than likely it's going to be like a Hulu thing. Because a lot of that stuff ended up on Hulu instead, like the Deadpool's and stuff like that. At one point, they were on Hulu. Now, in that, I watched Deadpool again because I was watching with my daughter, and I asked her, has she ever seen Deadpool? And then I realized that when Deadpool came out, she was a little bit younger, and I thought it was a little bit too much for her. So she never watched Deadpool, so she had never seen Ryan Reynolds. I was like, no, this guy is fucking hilarious. And we watched Deadpool. She was on her phone most of the time, and she didn't laugh. Most of the jokes were kind of a little bit over her head. I had to explain a lot. I had to explain the X-Men movies and Wolverine because the Wolverine is a running joke in the Deadpool movies.
Yeah, I didn't even think about this because I was listening to Show Us podcast and I didn't even really think about it. That I was like, holy shit, they're right. It's Marvel now. I mean, yes, it's Marvel, but Disney owns Marvel now. What Disney did to the Star Wars thing, when they were like, oh man, you can't be cutting motherfuckers up in a Star Wars movie. We're Disney. You can't be cutting motherfuckers up in this shit. So is this Wolverine game owned by Disney? Is it going to be just PG-13? Like, oh, there's no blood and shit.
Well, they did say that whenever they got around to the new Deadpool movie, because they are working on a Deadpool movie, that it was still going to be the same. Is going to be on the same level. They were not going to tone it down.
Okay, so they may, because I mean, a Wolverine game that is not fucking bloody as shit is not a Wolverine game. He has he's basically Freddy Krueger. But like,
yeah, if you want some kid friendly shit, play the Guardians of the Galaxy mess that they're trying to peddle now. That looks terrible, by the way. I'm sorry, that game does not look very good.
I'm hopeful for it, but it's probably going to be terrible. But I hope it's not.
I don't think I'm going to unless it's on Game Pass or some shit like that. You ain't never gonna see it. I'm not gonna pay for that. I refuse.
I mean, we'll do what we always do and wait for reviews. The only thing I didn't wait for a review on, which still has been a long fucking time.
I don't do reviews anymore.
Well, I mean, wait for it to come out to see what even your friends say about it. That's what I mean. Yeah. I don't pre-order. The last thing I pre-ordered was like Persona 5, and that still, Jesus Christ, it just makes you feel old that's now like almost 17, 18, 19. Yeah, that's been 4 years.
I don't
Persona
think
5 is a 4-year-old game. That's some fucking shit.
I don't think I preloaded pre-ordered anything, but I have bought stuff in advance so they can preload. I've done that before, or do like digitally, bought it so it could preload. But even those, I bought it like the day before, like not like like in anticipation.
That's technically pre-ordering, but you're not pre-ordering like way in advance. But you are buying it before it came out, so it's technically.
I'm buying it. I'm buying it so the shit can load.
But I got fucking shot in the ass. With that shit, I mean, I didn't buy it; it was on Game Pass. But what was the Cyberpunk game that came on Game Pass? That's like Diablo.
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't see any interest in it at all. But I know what you're talking about. Yeah. The isometric Cyberpunk game, and I can't think of the name because it didn't interest me at all.
I can't remember, but I preloaded it. And apparently, by preloading it, I was fucking stuck at a pre-release version that I couldn't get in with friends. And every time I would I couldn't update it. Whatnot. I had to uninstall it and reinstall it. I was like, well, fuck. That really,
wow.
Like,
I think, and isn't the other game that you're playing, isn't that on Game Pass too? Was it the Scarlet Nexus game?
Yeah, it just came on Game Pass. So that's a good game. I bought it like fucking 5 months ago, and I still haven't finished it. But like, just because I've been really slow at finishing games lately. But it's a good game. So, I mean, try it on Gamepad. Like another thing that Show Enough, it didn't really resonate with him. I remember when he was talking to me, I was like, oh, this game's like kind of long for a hack and slash. And I was like, hack and slash? Yeah, I know you're hacking and slashing somewhat in the game, but this is an RPG, dude. This is not a hack and slash game. So, so yes, it's gonna be 40, 50 hours. It's not Bayonetta. It's an RPG that happens to have hack and slash combat. But but yeah, so yeah, it's good, man. Like so, that's a must. I mean, a lot of things are a must. Even fucking Avengers, that's a shit game. But if you're like somewhat interested in it, fucking install it and try it. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, but I'm ready, and Matt and more Mike than Matt, but like we were talking and like I am ready for Game Pass to feel like holy shit, I don't have to pay for that. Holy fuck, yes. Rather than well, that shit was on Game Pass. Glad I didn't pay for that. I'm ready for that rhetoric versus the other. You know what I mean?
No, I feel like that already. I'm sorry, I do. And I'm probably gonna feel like that again when Halo comes out.
I'm really hopeful for man. Halo has got to be good. Like I've heard like the multiplayer is awesome, and I'm
The,
I'm really
the,
excited because
the, the multiplayer has no business being as good as it is.
I because it got me excited because there was some hype about it. The Ascent. This was I've been doing this whole time trying to find that game, but the Ascent
Okay.
is the game that I was talking about. But yeah, Halo. When we did our Father's Day thing, that was around the time of E3 that where they're really talking about Infinite, and that's really got me talking about wanting to do the Halo thing. And when we were playing it on the Father's Day, I was like, man, it still got it, man. It's still just like solid fucking game night, fucking co-op shit, man. And so I'm excited about Halo Infinite. So that's the one because I was actually thinking about canceling my Game Pass until Back for Blood because I was like, well, maybe I should just get PC Game Pass, get a little bit cheaper because my kid isn't really playing it. I'm like, because he'd be like, oh, I'm bored, I don't know what to play, and I'm like, Game Pass, goddamn, there's like 100 games on there, like
I
just
went through
pick
that. I
one.
went through that. I went through that with my daughter this weekend. She's just like, I'm bored. I don't know what to play, and I'm just kind of like, because like I try to talk to her, and I'm just kind of like, yo, you are 13. You have no business having such a narrow view on video games. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you should be trying anything and everything because
Well,
you
did
don't
she
know
like
what.
anime shit? I mean, she could try Scarlet Nexus.
No, it's just one of those things. It's just kind of stupid, and her whole thing is just kind of stupid.
Or is it like the thing to where like if they found it on their own, they're like, oh man, this is awesome. But if you suggested it to where you're like, hey, you should read this book or watch this movie, and it's, now I don't want.
Yeah.
But so
I don't know. It's just I can't call it. I love Game Pass, and I love all of the things that I don't have to buy because of Game Pass.
yeah, I
Period.
mean, I
Just
like
period.
Game Pass too, but I'm ready for like the thing to where, some, but I think that's a gaming problem at all these days because like there's nothing that is coming out or has come out in a while to where I'm holy that is there hasn't been that Bioshock I have got. You know what I mean? It's being like that looks interesting. I might try that out, and that's pretty much been all of gaming for the past fucking.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot, and there's just a lot to go around. Like no matter what kind of gamer you are, you can find something. And it split us up, honestly. It doesn't, gaming doesn't work the same way that it used to when like the new hotness would come out and like everybody's on it. That just doesn't happen anymore.
I'm thinking maybe that'll happen with Halo because it is crossplay.
Nope, not at all. It's not going to happen because we already have we already have the people, like all of the people who care about Halo or care about like Microsoft and the Xbox and stuff like that, we're all great. But people who already have their built-in feelings about Microsoft, they're trashing this shit that they've never even played. So it's not going to be something that's going to bring us all together. It's it's just gonna
Well, Back
it's
for
just
Blood
gonna
is crossplay. Destiny's crossplay. I mean, there's plenty of things that we could like on our game on our Friday nights instead of just talking about stuff that we should be talking about on because that night with Sam, like pretty much our like our main crew of people that listen to the podcast were like in a game night. Like all of a sudden, we are like, why can't this happen all the time, guys? Like this is awesome. Like, let's do this.
because we all have lives and like there's just a lot going on with all of us.
But that's when we say, hey, Friday nights where you know like okay, if I can't make it tonight, well it's fine. But I know that some Friday nights I can make it. You know, so on Friday nights we're try to be in the Discord even if I'm there by myself. Like just to be like, hey, this is the time that we can try to schedule around and like do this. I mean, I know we're older, but like it's when we get together and we start playing some games, like we're like it's like early 2000s, you know?
No, doesn't feel like that at all.
Maybe to you because you're grumpy.
No, I'm not grumpy. I'm real. It's just it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like that anymore, and I don't think that's coming back.
It didn't feel like that on the Back for Blood game night.
Nope, not at all. Didn't
Oh.
feel the same. It didn't feel the same as those like Halo game nights or the fucking Call of Duty like Modern Warfare 2 game nights. Like that was something completely different than what the fuck we did. Like completely.
Well, maybe what
So
we did was like the
it
Diet
felt,
Coke
I'm,
version, but we can
what
get
I'm
there, man.
what I'm saying is it felt cool. It felt kind of good, but it's just it was nothing close to real thing. It was very much Diet Coke. It was very much Diet Coke, and there's nothing wrong with Diet Coke. It just you know it just didn't feel the same. And like and also with those things and how it feels, um, it's also like those games also allow for way more people
Yeah.
than like a Back for Blood. Um, I mean, it didn't even really feel like a real Left 4 Dead game night. It just felt like, hey, we got together and we got to play some games, and then like it was over, and it was like, oh, that was okay.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how it felt to me. Like it could, it could feel different to other people, but that's kind of how it felt to me. I don't know. I don't know.
I wanted to be more Scar. I wanted to be more.
I have fun, but like telling me at the last minute on a fucking Tuesday that we're gonna be playing tonight when I know I had something else to do. It's not what's hot on these streets. If it wasn't for the fact that my that the podcast that I record on Tuesdays got pushed back to like 10 o'clock, I wouldn't have been there at all.
Right. Well, that was like kind of a because that was opening night and whatnot. So, but I do think on our Friday nights to where we're all there and we're trying to like trying to keep some sort of because a lot of our podcasts are going away. It's like you're like the last old guard, like one of them at least. Because like our,
And that's why I feel much better about just being in the room, and it's less for me about actually playing the game with you.
mm-hmm.
Like it's more about just being in the room, the camaraderie and the friendship and all of that kind of stuff, and just kind of bullshit and just kind of talking about shit. Like that means more to me than the actual playing of the game.
Right.
'Cause how many times we did a game night or something like that, and I couldn't play the game like during the Back for Blood beta. Like I was just there.
Right.
I've done all kinds of stuff like that. Well, that's the part that means more to me. I'll just say that that's the part that means more to me, and it will always mean more to me just to do that. Just being there means more to me than actually playing a game because I don't really play a whole bunch of games these days, and I'm playing on an inferior machine.
Yeah. But hey, not everybody can have a PS5 Scar.
Well, I don't want a PS5.
I'm just fucking with you.
I definitely don't want a fucking PS5. You know what game I want to play again? Because I came across somebody um, who plays a lot of tactical shooters. I want to get back into Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Breakpoint or Wildlands?
I don't have Wildlands. I have Breakpoint.
Oh, okay.
I played a lot of no, no. I don't have Wildlands. I played the beta with everybody or the demo or whatever when everybody was playing it before it
Yeah, I
actually
was
came
there.
out.
I was there too, and that was a shit show. But
Yeah, because no one knew no one knew what the fuck they were doing.
well,
But
I remember taking a motorcycle, and I was just like falling down forever,
yeah,
just flipping down.
yeah. My only issue with Breakpoint was the bugs. The game crashed on me a lot. I hope they fix that. And they're adding some more. They're adding some more stuff to the game. And like, there's a whole storyline that I never did. Like the whole Sam Fisher, because they brought Sam Fisher in that game for a storyline,
Hmm.
and I never even played it. I never even made it around to that. But I really like that game. I don't like it nowhere near as much as I like the Division, of course. But I really kind of enjoyed that game. But that game is only fun with other people. It's not fun by yourself at all. So I kind of want to get back into that. But that's going to require me to actually play video games, which may or may not happen.
Right.
I think right now I have so much that I want to play that I'm just kind of like, well, I don't know what to actually play because there's so many things that I want to get into right now, and I'm just kind of like, I want to place I want to get back into City Skylines because I played a little bit of City Skylines by myself, and I had little knowledge about what I was doing, and I'm watching all of these people who are really good at the game play, but here's the thing. I don't have all of the DLC, and a lot of them are using the DLC stuff to make their cities better. And I'm just kind of like, well, I'm just stuck with the regular game, and I have it on PC and Xbox. And I don't know, I might actually like try to put a little bit of money into buying the season pass things because they give me all of the DLCs if I get both passes.
Right.
So, but that's something for later. It's not anything I can do right now. Like my light bill is like way past due, and they're gonna turn my stuff off in a few weeks. Um,
Well, I thought they changed that for the coronavirus. So.
no, no, I'm like way behind. Like it's bad, but they got rid of those. They got rid of those things a while ago. But yeah, that's coming. It's coming soon.
You can come over
It's not.
here.
It's not gonna happen.
You don't need to
It's
come
not,
over
it's
here,
not,
do you?
nah, I'm good. I mean, my rent's paid, so I have somewhere to be. I just may be here in the dark. It's not gonna happen. I'll take care of it. I promise you, it's not gonna happen.
All right, man.
All right, so like, yeah. So I think we really need to get closer to finding out a game to play for the show because it's gonna force me to actually do something. If I play it for the show, it's gonna actually like do make me want to play something. But
Revisit Alan Wake.
fuck Alan Wake forever. No,
Alan, wake the fuck up, Scar.
no, no. I fucking hate that game, and I will never, ever
We're gonna
play it.
play. We're
Even if we put it on a poll,
we're
if we
going.
put it on a poll, and y'all motherfuckers pick it like y'all pick fucking black, I am never play. I am never. My thumbs will be free from Alan Wake fucking forever.
We're gonna play Alan Woke.
Nope, I ain't playing Alan nothing. Fuck Alan.
All right, man.
I fucking I'm standing strong on that shit. Fuck Alan Wake forever.
But did you ever get Destiny 2 installed for like a game night or two, or are we doing game nights for Back for Blood?
I thought I did, but like I'm so out of the Destiny loop. I don't know if it's gonna be something that's gonna actually
Right,
be fun.
but that's not really the point. It
Because
was more or less
because
something to do to where, hey, let's go shoot some shit.
yeah,
You
I
know,
definitely can get in and shoot some shit. I don't have a problem with that at all.
because I've
I'm not doing any verses at all.
well, I haven't done versus since 2019, so the
I thought you got into that mode last year.
well, was that last year? Well, whenever Back for Blood, whenever Beyond Light come out, before the week before it came out, that's the last time I played versus because
And the part that's on Game Pass, it is the Beyond Light, right?
yeah,
So
and
does that mean I don't have to pay for whatever the new hotness is?
right, you may have to pay for the season, but I mean, you don't really have to. Like the reason, because I'm out of the loop myself. Like the whole reason I was like, hey, it's a mechanically sound game, it's crossplay, all this stuff. Let's just go in there and do some bounties on the fucking Cosmodrome, kill some fucking aliens, and that was the whole thing. To where like I was like, hey, why aren't more people doing this? Because you don't have to be in on the end game like big loot grind and all this stuff to have fun with Destiny. You can just do fucking dumb shit like that.
That's good because I'm not gonna ever be that deep into it. I was deep into it when it came out, but like I was out before the first. Right, I stopped playing right before the first DLC came out, and the only times that I've played it since then is the time that I played with you. That's it.
I'm
That
looking.
was that was on PC, wasn't it?
I think so,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
looking here on Game Pass to see if there's anything that sparks my eye of what might be a good game to play for a game for us to play as a group, even if it's a single player game, like separately to talk about on the show. Nothing's really sparking my eye, other than maybe. I mean, I already finished it. I mean, you could finish Outer Worlds if you wanted to.
I would probably have to start all the way to fuck over.
But the most popular stuff is stuff we already know, or anything we don't give shit about at all. Like the most popular is Halo 3, then Forza, and then there's like State of Decay, which crap game, in my opinion.
I think State of Decay always looked like it could possibly be fun, but everyone talks about how buggy this shit is.
Everything is Halo. Like, jeez, everything's Halo and the most popular. Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Let's see.
I don't think this is the conversation that we should have on the show.
Hey.
I think we should go ahead and wrap this up.
This is how we end shows, man. We ended on like half
No,
asleep, like talking about video games.
I'm hungry. It's 10 o'clock. I'm hungry.
What about A Plague Tale: Innocence?
No, I want them fucking depressing. Did that shit when I got that review code for what's that game? The city builder that's fucking depressing. I can't think of it. The one where everything's frozen.
Oh, Frostpunk.
Yeah. I can't do depressing. I just can't. And that game, playing Frostpunk just made me sad, bro. Like, I want to be sad playing a video game. Like, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be sad.
Right.
You know what we should? We should do something weird, like fucking the Telltale Batman game.
Yeah, we could.
You know, just something just kind of out the blue, like, you know what I mean, something like that. Like, you know, that shit ain't gonna last that long. I never finished the what you call it. I never finished the the wolf one, the one that's based off Fables.
Yeah, that's one of the more underrated ones, I think.
I heard that was really good. I got a Humble Bundle. I have a lot of those on PC.
Yeah.
And I also have the Game of Thrones one on PC, and I have no fucking idea why I even bought that. Well, I think it was because it was a part of the Humble Bundle. Because I stopped watching Game of Thrones after season 1.
I don't think you can buy that one anymore.
I have it. I think I have it on PC.
Yeah, I think when that happens, when they take things off the stores, you can still download it if you already own it. You just can't buy it because remember that I was game sharing with a guy that had that Transformers game that was on the 360. That game was like super fucking good, and I never finished it because I got it on Game Pass, or not Game Pass, GameFly, and then he had it on a PC. And I was like, man, this game's good, but you can't buy it anywhere. I guess like the Hasbro license made it to where you can't buy any Transformers game, but like it was like War for Cybertron or something like that. Those games are good, man.
I totally have that. I totally have that game. I just looked it up. My Steam library. I totally have the Game of Thrones Telltale game.
But do you have War for Cybertron?
No, I like the Transformers, but I like the originals. And like I'm one of those people that was at the right age to get traumatized by the first movie.
Yeah.
And like so, like I'm really traumatized by the first movie, and like
that whole thing to where, like this whole like 2 seasons of a show, there's a whole fucking war, like a couple of wars, and nobody dies, and you finally have a movie, and then someone dies. It's
no fucking everybody dies.
Yeah.
Like everybody fucking dies in the movie. And like when I got it on DVD, because I bought it on VHS, there was a moratorium on it where they just kind of hold off on it and they don't sell it. Because you know, I worked at a video store at the time. So when it came off a moratorium, I bought it through the video store on VHS.
Mm-hmm.
It was like one of the greatest days of my life at that point. And I think I spent like a lot of money for it. Like I think I spent like $30. And like when you work at a fucking video store making 5 something an hour, like $30 is a lot of fucking money, dog. So I paid for it, and like that was cool. But when I got it on DVD and they had the special features, and they were talking about like the impact that it had on people my age, I got pissed off, and I've never watched it ever again. Because, like, literally, I was traumatized as a child, so they could kill off all of the old toys, so they could sell us new toys. The whole point of that movie was to sell us new toys. That's it. That's the whole point of the Transformers movie, is to sell us new toys. Everybody got killed and or changed. You know, like Megatron got changed and all that other stuff. Like he still survived, but he changed into a completely different toy. Like you know what I mean. So like that was the whole point of that movie, and that's the reason why fucking my childhood was traumatized by them killing Optimus fucking Prime in front of my fucking face, dog. They killed Optimus Prime for a marketing ploy. They just wanted me to buy new shit. They wanted me to buy fucking Rodimus Prime, and I'm like, fuck that shit. Fuck Rodimus Prime forever. Not the person Rodimus Prime, because I like Rod. Shout out to the black guy who tips. But I'm talking about the character Rodimus Prime. Fuck that guy forever. Like, I'm not buying Rodimus Prime because you kill Optimus Prime for no fucking reason. And then the worst part about it is, here's the thing. They killed Optimus Prime. And then the dude who took over after Optimus Prime, they killed his ass too. Why? Because he wasn't a new toy. Ain't that about a bitch?
Yeah.
a fucking bitch. Like fuck Hasbro forever for what they did to my childhood. Like, I know people, like they say that the way veterans felt, some of the veterans felt when they went to see Saving Private Ryan. Um, that's how I felt when I saw the first Transformers movie. There's a
I
story about this
I think
lady who.
I think I think it might have been a little bit less, but you
No, fuck that shit. That shit was traumatic, dog. You watch you were young and you watch Optimus Prime fucking die. That was my fucking hero, dog. Optimus Prime was the shit, dog, and he fucking died in front of me.
yeah,
But
yeah. I mean,
there's
I
this
saw
one
it back then too. Yeah, but
there's this one story that this lady was telling about going to see Saving Private Ryan with her dad, and her dad was I don't know if he was in that war, but he was in a war. The first that first little bit of Saving Private Ryan is the realest of the real, and she said that she is watching the movie just kind of intently and not paying attention, and um, just after the beginning of that movie happens, she just happened to be like, "Where the fuck is my dad?" He is balled up on the floor crying, scared out of his fucking mind because that shit reminded him of being in an actual fucking war. It put him right back to where he was when a
right.
lot of this shit was happening. I think it was the same war, but because it's around the time that movie came out, so a lot of those people were still here. Um, yeah, I'm guessing a lot of them are still here, but still. Um, but yeah, that. So like, I felt like that when Optimus Prime died. I'm not saying that I feel that my pain is equal to someone who's actually been in a war, and I'm not equating my pain to someone who's actually been in the military and been through some real shit. That was real shit to me, dog.
Yeah,
Optimus Prime was real to me.
It's- it's-
Fucking killed
that's
me.
the moment you were like, "Fuck capitalism,"
No, but remember, I didn't know that that's what it was until the DVD came out.
and then that's when you were like, "Fuck capitalism."
Absolutely. I'm just gonna go be a fucking hobo because fuck capitalism.
You'll move to Portland.
Hell yeah. Oregon outlawed all the drugs. I could just do whatever the fuck I want. They outlawed all the drugs, dog. They're not outlawed. They allow all of the drugs.
Yeah, that's kind of the opposite. I think you're going for,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. 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 They allow all the drugs. Let's do that. They should totally do that. Then like it don't be like don't it's not like fucked up like Virginia where they allow you to have weed, but you can only have a certain amount, and you can't smoke it out in public. That shit's stupid. It should have the same rules as New York, where New York you can smoke weed anywhere where you can smoke cigarettes. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But all right, I think that's the show. I'm like super and like internally I'm like still like super frustrated about this Optimus Prime thing. Like this shit is really bothering me right now. So I'm gonna go eat some food, because food is my comfort. I'm a fat guy. So food is my comfort. I thank you guys for checking your boys out. I promise by next show I'm gonna play some fucking video games. Um, I'm gonna try to listen to some more podcasts because I'm way behind on podcasts because I only listen to podcasts while I'm in the car. I don't really listen to podcasts at home. So like I'm behind on like so
Yeah,
many shows.
I was like that too until I got the little earbuds that I got for Father's Day, and I do listen to podcasts a little bit more that way.
But when I'm at home, I'm just watching YouTube. You know what I mean? I'll just watch stuff on YouTube. So like I don't know. And the worst part about it is I'm caught up on a lot of my YouTube stuff. So I'm like searching for things to watch on YouTube. There's a guy who keeps releasing these videos. They're all like 2 hours each, and he has a he's playing RimWorld. He's playing no pause. Like he cannot pause the game. Even if he takes a break, he has to put it on like the slowest speed and like go do what he needs to and then come back because something may happen while he's gone.
Right.
So he puts so it's no pause and it is on the hardest difficulty. Everything turned up.
All right. I got
Um,
you.
so I've been watching that and that's been interesting.
Wow.
So that's kind of like my jam right now. And I'm gonna go do that now. Actually, I need to watch some episodes of Oz for the shows tomorrow. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that, and I'm gonna go get some food. So thank you all again for checking your boys out. Do all of the things like, share, subscribe. Check out PTCAC Handcrafted. It's getting cool outside, so it's time for you to get your warmers and your candles and all that kind of stuff together.
Oh yeah,
So
Amber
that
wants a candle. She's like, fucking.
okay, just we can speak. Let me know. We can speak away from here because
Yeah,
I got
yeah. But
and
also check out Crucial Core. Still doing the Friday 13th thing. We just did part 5, which will come out in the morning. Which will, I'm sure, it'll be already out by the time we do this. But after that, it will be Jason Lives, which is my favorite. That movie is hilarious. And but yeah. But so that is part 6. So right now we just did part 5, so we still got 5 more until you're on for part 10, right?
I watched a movie. I watched a movie. I said I would do that, but I'm currently behind on all of the podcasts, so I haven't listened to any of them, and I haven't really watched very many of the movies. So I probably should listen to the podcast before I actually do Jason X. But I did watch a YouTube video of why Jason X was the way that it was,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like super interesting. If I find it, I'll share it.
Cool.
Because it was the whole thing was like super super interesting.
Nice, man.
Because basically the whole thing was just a shit show from the very beginning.
Well, that's pretty much the part of the course for the Friday 13th series, so.
Yeah. I'm gonna look that up and then I'll share it to you. All right, thank y'all. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
All right,
Check
man.
out Crucial Core. Check out. Oh yeah, I just posted a new painting video to the YouTube page for PTCAC, and it was good to do something, even though I kind of messed up a little bit. It was good to be back.
Yeah.
So check that out too.
Cool, man.
All right, we're out of here. Peace out to the Warriors, yo.
Later.